What the hell is going on with those German car manufacturers? So if you take a look back, you just can come to one conclusion. Those guys stuck somehow in an identity crisis. Let me give you an example. So when you're talking at the beginning of the millennium, or let's go back 10 years more back, beginning of the 90s, about the BMW 328, then you know the 3 stands for the 3 Series and the 28 for the 2.8 liter engine. Same story by Mercedes. An E300 was an E-Class with the 3 liter engine. But what's about today? Today you have those names 328. It still means the 3 Series, but no more a 2.8 liter engine because it's a 2.0 liter engine. Same story by Mercedes. It's still an E300, it's still an E-Class, but no more the famous 3 liter engine. It is also a 2.0 liter engine. And now, not long ago, Audi decided to play the same game. Now they have some funny names like Audi A6, TFSI 55 or 45. What doesn't mean it is a 5.5 liter engine. It doesn't mean it has 550 horsepower. It just means it's the more potential model, okay? And if all that is not enough, now they're trying also to play with some model names to make you more confusing. For example, BMW decides somewhere 2014-15 to call all convertibles and all coupes from the 3 Series from now on the 4 Series. Yeah, logically, why not? Mercedes decide to not play this game, but Audi decide, hey, that idea is great. So let's jump on this, let's confuse the customer train. And so they released this car. And with him, I mean the brand new Audi A4. Ha! Trapped, because this is the brand new Audi A5. And the brand new Audi A5 is the brand new Audi A4. I mean, come on. Which person comes on this stupid idea? Really? I just can explain it to myself like this. On an Audi Christmas party, some really drunken and really important Audi employers think to yourself like this.
Oh, God. Where's my glass? Oh, yeah, there it is. And the next sip. Oh, what a great wine. What a strange sounding sound. Hey, there's Peter. Hey, Peter. Come pie. Great party. Oh, goddamn. I'm drunk. I'm so drunk. I think I should go home. Oh, whoa, look at my fingers. Look at my hands. 5 fingers. 1, not 4. 4 and 5. Even at odd numbers. I have an idea. We should call all cars with the even numbers electric, and that one with the odd combustion. I need to go back down before I forget it. God damn God!
So, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the total laws of reality. Okay, let's first take a deep breath. Let's start by 0. So we knew, Audi says all models with even numbers are from now on electric cars. What means the word e-tron is past, okay? We know also all models with odd numbers have combustion engines. So like for example, the Audi A5. Yeah, that makes sense. Whatever. And what we also knew is that Audi will stop the production of classic coupes and convertibles. And in case of all of this, let's start by 0. Let's start by the design language of the brand new Audi A5. So listen, at the beginning I need to confess before we start, I really adore the brand new design of this Audi A5, okay? If you take a look to the past models, the single frame of the Audi A5 and the A4 was always higher than in this case. And through all these model changes, it's changed more slicker but more wider. And here in case of the A5 even more. What has the nice effect that it is no more the center part when you take a look as a viewer at the front, the middle part of the car. It is no more the highlight, this center part. Now it's the opposite way. Now when you take a look at the front of this brand new i5, you realize the side parts are the real superstars in the front of this car. This nice silver and white looking air curtains, including these white and slim headlights. And all this has this nice effect that when you take a look at the car from the front, it looks more wider, more meaner, more aggressive, but it still looks elegant. And that's really that thing that I really love about the front part of this car. Let's take a look by the side view on the car. And I mean, let's be honest, the way how an Audi station wagon looks like is always unique and mind-blowing. Never ever another car manufacturer made it to create such a nice silhouette like Audi always do it on his station wagons. And so on the side view we have three major changes. Change number one are the door openers. So now they are holes in the door, and the way how they operate, the way how they feel is so much more premium and quality. Change number two is the writing on the side, left and right. Now you know all about this car. You know which model, you know which chassis, which engine, and is it quattro operated or not. That's also a nice detail. Change number three are the back wheel arches. Now they are even more wider and more mean looking. It reminds me extremely on a Audi RS model. It has this RS DNA. And all in all, the whole station wagon is longer than its predecessor. It is even longer than the actual BMW Touring or the Mercedes C-Class. It is all in all 7 centimeters longer. Yes, and because he's 7 centimeters longer than its predecessor, in case of this, his trunk has also 7 liters less than by the predecessor. Yeah, and if you fold down the seats, 71 liters less than by the predecessor. I mean, yeah, that totally makes sense. But let's take a closer look to the tail design of this car. So there is also a new tail design, and the major part in this whole tail design game plays those tail lights. So they are from now on connected from left to right straight with this major part, like we know it from his bigger brothers. And the way how it fits to the whole back design of this car, it's really lovely. I like it really. And then we have the rear bumper. It is, compared to the predecessor, it reminds me it is a little bit more refreshed, but we have a part there, an old school part that I really love it. And it is this one side exhaust system with 2 pipes. It reminds me extremely on the Audis from the 90s, like for example the first RS4. And the way how this whole design fits to the whole tail, it is really lovely. It is not wrong. By the brand new A5, you can choose between 6 combustion engines. Petrol, diesel, and also what will be soon available is a plug-in hybrid system. All petrol and all diesel engines have minimum the mild hybrid system on board, and if you choose the more powerful 2-liter TDI with 204 horsepower like that one that you drive here, then you can have it with the mild hybrid plus system. Same story also by the Audi A5, okay? But what that means, so compared to the regular mild hybrid system, the mild hybrid plus system that you can choose by those 2 models has not only the belt generator, it still has also on the belt generator the drivetrain generator, which is mounted on the gearbox. And with this system, it feels more like a full hybrid than a mild hybrid. And for those who can't quite imagine it, here's a video. At the back is a water-cooled 48-volt battery. And for those who are now wondering, oh no, do I have to plug it in somewhere and charge it? No, of course not. The battery is charged through a recuperation, what means braking or coasting. There's a proposed generator on the gearbox itself.
a kind of a small electric motor, which use interlocked gears to turn an intermediate gear, which in turn is attached to the gearbox. And if you now ask yourself, okay, what's the point of all of this? What can I do with it?
You can drive shortly full electric. When you, for example, start to drive, or when you park, or even if you really has it good fitting in your acceleration feet, you can drive until 40 kilometers per hour full electric. Also, a benefit with this system is that by in the boost mode, so when you accelerate hard, you have for a short time 24 horsepower more than by the other engines. And I mean, that's good because it is a car that feels more sportier than a regular one, A4, okay? But what it is really sad is when you compare it, for example, to the competition, like, for example, a BMW 3 Series. Audi has with his 6 engine not really a lot options that it offers to the customer. By BMW, it is the double. So you can choose between 12 engines. And that's a little bit sad.
However, the engines of the new Audi A5 have a variable turbocharger, or VTG for short. The VTG exhaust housing has a rotatable guide vanners, which are closed at low engine speeds, and those simulates a small turbocharger. The advantage is that the response at low speeds is significantly better and more direct. Despite the low exhaust pressure and the volume, the engine hangs much more better on the gas, and the so-called turbo lag almost disappears completely. As the engine speed and the exhaust pressure increase, the guide vanners open, and from now on a large turbocharger is simulated, which overall is able to use the amount of exhaust gas much more efficiently and generate maximum power.
And also you realize by the acceleration that mild hybrid plus system that gives them also this 24 horsepower more boost, and it has a nice sound character. So when you go away from the acceleration pedal, when it starts to recuperate the energy, it has some high-tech noisiness. I mean, let's be honest, a diesel engine never has a nice noise. Never. It sounds always, it sounds difficult. But with this noisiness, this high-tech noisiness, it's getting somehow attractive for me, to be honest, because it sounds so high-tech. I don't know if you hear it on the camera, I don't think so. But yeah, it feels great.
In the past, Audi was famous for its understeering behavior, especially when you drive it sporty through the corners, what means the car always slides over the front axle. And this gives you an insecure feeling when you're driving sporty around the curves, which always was a weak point.
And so it was a big task for Audi to create a new suspension system and a new steering system for this car, to change the whole way how this car drives, okay? To make it more drivable, more sporty drivable, and more sporty behavior than the previous models, okay? So what they did is they stiffen up the suspension, the front axle gets more camber, the rear axle is getting stiffer, and they put a different kind of steering gear on the car. This one is now no more flexible mounted on the car, it is stiff mounted on the car. And you also have a torsion stick that is getting harder when you start the steering. So now you have no more 2 Newton meters force feedback, now it is 3.3. And in case of this, when you start to move this car more faster to the corners, you realize there is practically no more understeering. There is no more sliding over the front axle. Now this car feels much more sportier. Oh, nearly to a BMW from the way how it drives. And that's a big benefit. Especially when you are a driver like I am. A driver who enjoys to drive sporty when it is alone in the car without any family and kids, you know? Wow, it is a big difference to the predecessor. Next world fitting. Next world fitting, really. But let's be honest, I mean, the most people who decide to buy an A5 station wagon will be more the people who love to drive it or will to drive it every day, go to work, go to shopping, for a weekend trip or for the holidays with the family. And then in this case, this car is a little bit too stiff. It feels too stiff, okay? Don't get me wrong, for my taste, perfect. It's exactly how I want to have a station wagon. That's the way how a station wagon should feels to me. I will have a little bit more power than this. It's not enough for me, 204 horsepower, but the way how this car moves through the corners is great, okay? If you compare it, for example, to an Audi A6, it's hard to compare because it feels somehow like an Audi A6, but it feels like a very, very stiff-setted Audi A6, okay? So there is more sportiness than comfort in this whole car and chassis. What means if you decide to buy this car, you really need to take a look for the softer suspension, for the more softer and comfortable suspension. If you are a guy who says, for me, the most important thing is that this car is comfortable and has a soft suspension, because with that kind of setting that we drive here, you will be not happy. Me, yes, I'm absolutely happy because I'm a sportier driver, especially when I am alone in the car, and I really enjoy to move this car fast through the corners. Doesn't matter that this is a big station wagon, but it has this sportier DNA than the predecessor, much sportier DNA, and that's really what I love about this car. So now BMW needs to pay attention, because this car is really, if we're talking about the way how a car drives sporty, really on the same level like a BMW 3 Series. It feels so much sportier than every Audi that I drive in the past, okay? If you took the brand in the front of the steering wheel away, and you don't tell me which car it is, if I need just to judge about it by the way how it drives, I really could get in danger to say that it's a BMW, because it feels now so much more stable and precisely in the corners. It feels like he loved that you move it fast to the corners. It feels like this is the right way how you should move me. That's what he says to you. And because of this, it has somehow this BMW DNA. Okay, by all that innovations and excitement that we have about this brand new Audi A5, we shouldn't forget to talk about the interior, which is a major part of a car in my eyes, okay? And so when you sit in and when you know the predecessor, you realize in the interior a lot has changed. A lot has changed in case of the materials. A lot has changed in case of the design, how everything looks like. The first thing when you sit inside that pops out is the panoramic multimedia system. It calls panoramic curved display by Audi. And what is really sad is you lose this classic way of a cockpit, because now everything is in front of you, a curved display, like we know it from the competition, BMW or Mercedes. So the same thing also here by Audi. Finally, what means finally? I'm a little bit sad about it, because I love this classic way of a cockpit in front of you and then separated the multimedia system. And now you have this big curved display. Doesn't matter if you sit here or in a BMW or in Mercedes, it feels somehow it feels all the same, okay? Really, it feels all the same. The whole ambience in the interior feels all the same in case of this. What we doesn't have in the inside is the separately display for the passenger, because we doesn't have in this car the tech package, this really expensive tech package. Because if you have this, you have also here a separate display for the passenger that can use it. He can use it without to disturb you. He can play some games or watch some movies, I think also watch some videos, and yeah, but it costs a lot. Unfortunately, we doesn't have it here, but we will pop up some pictures so you can see how it looks like. Another major point, the materials. The materials really changed inside. They are now more quality. They look better than by the predecessor. And what I really love about the interior materials is the way how everything's from the bottom to the top feels the same way quality. If we think some months back by the review of the brand new BMW 5 Series, I really was angry about it, that from this part, when you go down, everything was cheap plastic. And in this case, by Audi, everything still feels quality. Doesn't matter where you touch it, here, or even here, down here, same story by the door. Everything feels much more quality than by the new BMW 5 Series. And don't forget, the BMW 5 Series is one level more up than the A5. It plays in the same department like his bigger brother, the A6.
Ich habe das leider nicht verstanden. Kannst du das bitte wiederholen?
That's something that always happens. Abbrechen. The whole,
Habe ich leider immer noch nicht verstanden.
the whole movie that we record about this car, anytime when you say Audi, she pops up and want to talk with you. I mean, that's okay, but you can really not use the word Audi without to talk with her. Now you see, she comes again back. She want to talk with me, but no, that's good. Please silent. Okay, so where we stop? We're talking about the materials. And also the textile that we have here in the middle part and by the seats and also by the doors. I know not everybody is a textile fan. Many people want to have some Alcantara or leather, but I really like it. I like the way how it looks like. I even like more the way how it feels like. We have it here nice in the combination with the S-line seats. Everything feels so great. And it still fits to the whole S-line interior in front of you with leather and plastic and aluminum and all that stuff. And if we're already talking about the middle part, we have a brand new steering wheel. A brand new S-line steering wheel. It looks great. It feels great in the hand. But the first thing, if you really drive many cars like I do it, the first thing when I was in the car the first time, I recognized this steering wheel as a Peugeot steering wheel. Somehow the same shape, a little bit bigger than the Peugeot steering wheel, but the same shape. Flat on the top, flat on the bottom, but it feels great. It feels good, it is nice for driving. What I don't like is the touch-sensitive buttons, left and right. I don't know why Audi didn't learn his lessons. For example, if you compare to his brothers, Skoda,
Bitte wiederhole nochmal, was
Yeah.
du gesagt hast.
abort it, cancel it. When you take a look at his brothers from the VAG AG, so for example, Volkswagen or Skoda learned their lessons with those touch-sensitive buttons. Now, by the brand new Volkswagen Passat, for example, you have again those hard buttons, which are much more better for using. This one here steals the touch-sensitive buttons. It looks maybe more premium, but when you operate, when you drive sporty, it always happens that you get in touch with this panel. And then, for example, you change the radio station, it's getting louder, or you activate, without that you wanted, the voice command system. And that's a little bit sad. I mean, why they didn't change it? Another big change that I never see in a car is the light switch. So it's no more here in this part. Now you have it here on the door. So where you can activate or deactivate the light switch, including the fog lights front and rear. It is somehow weird to have it here, okay? And I could imagine if you drive this car longer every day, then it could happen that you get in touch, because it's also touch sensitive, that you can get in touch with the fog lights front or back, or deactivate the automatic light. I think it's the wrong position. I think it's the wrong spot where it is right now. It doesn't look bad, but it's somehow, I don't know. I think it's a question of time until you get okay until you get familiar with it. But first time when you sit in, it's somehow strange. Okay, yeah. The middle part, let's talk shortly about the middle part. What we doesn't have here anymore is a classic shift knob. So now we have some kind of shift, how you want to call it, shift plate, something like this. It looks very modern, but it looks like the cockpit somehow emotionless. It is too modern. I think it's too modern. It doesn't give you this sporty feeling. But the whole middle part is now a little bit wider, better materials, a better displacement. What I'm a little bit sad about it that Audi didn't put some cover here by the cup holders or by the station for charging the mobile phone, because when you have nothing inside, it looks so somehow cheap, you know. If you have there some possibility to close some cover here or here, it will be looks much more premium to me. Yeah. But okay, it is like it is. In the middle part, you can start and stop the car, change the drive setting, change the volume, change the gears, and that's already it. Activate or deactivate the quick shift of the assistance systems, and yeah, that's pretty it. All in all, it's a great interior, a big step forward compared to the predecessors. Doesn't matter A5 or A4. It is bigger, it is wider, it feels more comfy. I really like the materials. But it's also somehow it's getting emotionless. More emotionless. It's more getting high tech, and some people like it, some people not. I like more the classic cockpit. I like more the classic shift knob because it gives you more this sport here and more this emotion feeling in the interior from a car than compare like to this one. This is too high tech for me, okay? Too high tech for my taste. But yeah, you know, everybody has another taste. And as we already says, because the car is right now 7 centimeters bigger, we also have, in case of this, 7 centimeters more space in the back. And how much this is in reality, I will show it to you. Oh yes, let's take a seat. Oh wow, yes. You realize the difference to this predecessor. It feels wider, bigger, longer. You have more space inside. The seats feels more comfy for long-term drives. And you realize how much more space you have now here by the legs, because the wheelbase is now 7 centimeters longer. And what I really also like is the material quality stills on the same high level like in the front. Only here in the middle part you have hard plastic, but the rest feels perfect. You have here the possibility to charge your phone, set the temperature in the back, and that's already is a little bit ambient. And the funny thing is when you change the temperature, when you get higher, hotter, it's get red. If you cool it down, it's get blue. That's a nice detail. And in the middle part, you have your armrest. Yeah, also here, the same sad thing. You have just holes for the cup holders and no possibility to put some, to close it, to put some, something on the top. So, for example, same story like in the front. If you doesn't have something in the cup holders, it looks so cheap and sad, okay? That's really sad that you cannot cover it with something up, some cover here or front or the back. That's something that Audi really didn't manage to do it well. But the rest is great. I have everywhere space. It feels great. I can really enjoy, relax, and drive many kilometers in the back. And I think that's the important thing for a family station wagon. And finally, let's talk about the trunk. But before we go to the trunk, I want to talk to you about this LED headlight unit. So if you have this expensive tech package with the display for the passenger, you also have the OLED 2 signature lights, okay? This one has the regular one LED lights. And I need to be honest, I prefer much more this signature light than the regular one than this OLED 2 generation, whatever. Because This OLED 2 generation always, it is a light that always has some movement. It moves, it's getting brighter, then darker. It's changed the position of the LED lights, and it looks in the first view, it looks funny. But it looks somehow not serious to me, okay? It looks somehow like the LED light needs to be fixed. Same story also in the front. By the tech package, you have also the daylight in the front that moving around. It's getting darker, it's getting brighter. It looks really, to me, like this headlight needs to be fixed. I mean, take a look at this. In my eyes, that's an awesome signature. It's the regular one LED light, and it looks awesome. Perfect. It looks serious. Nothing is moving around, and that's how it should be, okay? It's classic, it's modern, it looks sporty. Okay, but let's go back to the trunk. So let's talk about the trunk. And as I already said in the beginning of the video, now we have 7 liter less than the predecessor. I mean, take a look at this. It's still a big trunk, okay? It is a big trunk that you can really use for long-term driving, holidays with the family. You have space for the baggage. You just a little bit need to know how to pack, okay? It should be no problem for a big family. So with 2 kids, to make some long travel holidays, some long-term drives for holidays with package and all what belongs to a holiday trip, should be no problem.